Before we get started, I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of information about myself. My name is Brennan Horton. I'm the instructor here with Veterans Upward Bound. My job here is primarily working with students looking for help with math or technology. Technology that would be under the purview of something like this. So if you need help with Microsoft Office, or if you need help with, say, how to use Canvas, I do those kind of things, but I also instruct one-on-one and in some workshops for math, anywhere from pre-algebra up through calculus 2. Now, the first thing I want to talk about before we get too deep into it is, what is Zoom exactly? Well, Zoom is a video conferencing software, sometimes called a teleconferencing software, which is used primarily for meetings for work or for instruction for online schooling. So Zoom is one of many different teleconferencing softwares, the main competitors being Skype, Discord you may have heard of, and Microsoft Teams. Zoom has the unique advantage of being very user-friendly. It's very easy to get into, and you don't need an account to use Zoom. You just need an account to host a meeting. With all that said, let's go ahead and dive in. So what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see what I'm doing on my screen. So, Zoom's a little bit tricky, right? So whenever I record on, or when I show you on Zoom what I'm doing, you can't see on my screen what I'm doing. So here I've gone ahead and taken some screenshots of the Zoom user interface. On the bottom of the screen, you'll see here we have the mute and stop video buttons. So if you click on the mute button, so I can go ahead and do that just to show you. It's a little bit different for me on my end. It's at the top of the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. And now I unmute myself, you can hear me again. I can also stop and show my video. So if I click on that button there, the stop video button, for me it's up here. If I click on that, you can't see me anymore, you can still hear me. So now if I stop sharing my screen, at the bottom bar as well, we have the chat button. So if you click on the chat button, whether you're on your computer or whether you're on your phone, it'll pop up a little sidebar where you can see the Zoom chat. So here in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and post a link here. This will be the link to that survey I mentioned before. So I'm going to post that here in the chat, and you should all be able to see that link I posted. Now, just to make sure you're all following along, could you each of you for me, please post in the Zoom chat, just post your name. So next, I'm going to talk a bit about screen sharing. So I already showed you a little bit of what screen sharing can do, but I'm going to go ahead and explain for you in a little more detail. So when we screen share, you'll get a pop-up that looks like this. This pop-up is going to show you the different things you can share on your screen. So when I share my screen, this one here, this will show the entirety of what's on my computer. You can see everything that I'm doing. We have a couple of other options though. The whiteboard option here, this will allow us to see, I can write on the screen, and we can do kind of notes with a pen, like one of these here. We have a computer pen. I can also show just a single program like Microsoft Word, like what you're seeing now. You can see Microsoft Word, but I can drag it around and you can see my desktop in the background. If I were to only show Microsoft Word and then move it around, you would see just this window. Next thing I want to talk about is the Participants tab. So the Participants tab here is going to be, if we scroll up here, next to the chat tab here in the bottom of the screen in the middle. If you click on that Participants tab, you'll be able to see everyone who's in the meeting. Now, if you go over your own name and you right click on your name, or you go to more here, you can see the rename option. So here right now I'm on my computer, I'm on my desktop computer, but I'm gonna jump on here in a minute on my phone to show you what the Zoom user interface looks like on the phone. So, for example, Anne-Marie, I know your name came in as a Commander VFW post. So you can use that to rename. So we're going to go ahead and continue here. So if anyone else wants to rename themselves, you can do that there. The next thing I want to talk about is changing your background. So down at the bottom bar here where we have the mute and stop video buttons on the bottom left, next to the stop video button there is a drop down arrow. If we click on that drop down arrow, we will get a video settings menu like this one you can see here. So if we go to virtual background, we can change our background so that it will replace your background. So if you have a dirty room or maybe you have children in the background, you could throw on a virtual background and that can help cover that up. That comes already installed with a couple of nice pictures, but you can also use a video as your background. So now you can see that there's a video moving in the background. And you can also insert your own images. We can go to add images and we can add an image to show as your own custom background. And then one final feature, here on the bottom bar, here you have the record option. So normally whenever you're in a Zoom meeting, only the person running the meeting can record. However, there's a setting in which the person running the meeting can allow any of the users to record. So say for example, if I was meeting with one of you for some math instruction, maybe you wanted to record a certain part. You're like, wait, hold on, go back. I need to get a video of this so I can look at it later. So you can go in and record on your own. Whenever you click the record button here next to the share screen button, it'll start a recording, and that recording will, after the Zoom meeting, it will be converted to an MP4 file, which you can open on your computer. You can also open that if you're on the phone. You just can't record while you're on the phone. So that is one advantage of using the computer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hop on my phone so you can see what that looks like.
So now I'm going to share my screen with you for my phone. Alright, now you can see my phone screen. So here, if I go to Zoom, we can see my phone screen. Just like with the desktop version. On the bottom left corner, we have the mute button. So I can mute and unmute there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so you can see what that looks like.
It's a little hard to hit while I'm recording.
Alright, sorry about that. It's a little hard to hit the mute button while you're screen sharing.
Okay.
So now I can also share or hide my video. So now you can see my face. And if I click here in the top left corner, you can see I can flip.
So you can see the back of my camera. So now you can see my computer. And again, obviously I already mentioned before, the screen share button is in the middle. And again, you can also get into participants. And here you can look at everyone on here.
And if I click this right arrow here,
I can rename myself. That way you know this is me on the phone. And then just here in the top left corner, we close that. And here in the bottom right corner, we have the more option. So you don't have quite everything you do on the PC, but here if I click on chat, we can bring up the chat. We have a couple of other options here. But again, you won't have everything that you have on the PC. You won't be able to change many of your options here, but outside of a video or a meeting, you will be able to change some of those settings. So that's everything I wanted to go over today. I know we had a little bit of issues there with some audio and video on some of your ends, but I think we've got some of it sorted out. So now I want to open it up to questions, and maybe we can look and see if we can figure out what went wrong there for those of you who had some issues.
Hi, I'm Paula.
Hi,
Can
Paula.
anybody, I was about to say, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
I'm
you.
I'm on an iPad. That's all I have. I don't own a PC yet
Mm-hmm.
or a laptop. So a lot of my work will be done on my iPad for now. So what you were showing on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. It was all different for me.
I see. I see. So that's one thing is I kind of wanted to show you what it looks like on a PC and on a phone, but for an iPad, it's going to be a little bit different. What you can do, if you can find the screen share button on your iPad, I could walk you through some of those options. Okay, there we go. Okay, so for you,
Okay.
everything's in the top right corner. So your mute and stop video buttons, for me those were in the bottom left corner, but for you they're just in the top. So the mute, that's for you to mute your microphone. The stop video
Okay.
button, that's so that you can mute your video. The stop share, and that would also be where your screen share button is. So
Okay.
it's just everything's shifted. It's on the top right corner instead of in the bottom.
Okay. So how come I went from being able to see everybody to just seeing you?
Well, it depends. The app's a little bit different on maybe the iPad versus the other versions.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is if you're sharing your screen, for example, um, what'll happen is only the person who's speaking will show up in the as the video. So, for example, if I stopped speaking and Veronica started speaking, Veronica's face would show up instead.
Okay. Can Veronica speak for just a moment so we can see how that looks?
Yes, I'm speaking. Can you see me now? There I am.
Hi, Veronica. Yes, I see Veronica now. Okay. So why is the rest of the screen white and Veronica is like down in the little corner?
Right, that's because you're sharing your screen, so you're looking at Zoom. Now, I don't want to get into your iPad and like look around on your iPad if you're not comfortable. But if you went to another app, we
Okay.
would see your app. We would see exactly what was on your screen. So if you just went to
Ah.
another app, and that's what screen sharing allows you to do. So, for example,
Okay.
again, if we're doing instruction, if you were to bring up your homework or something, if you were doing a math class or something like that, then you could show, oh, here's the step that I'm stuck on, and I can see, all of us can see where you're at.
Okay, most all right. I got that. That makes sense now.
Do you have
Okay.
any other questions?
No, no. Now that you've explained that to me, that really helps out because my actual screen itself, as you can see, is pretty simplified compared to what the PC looks like.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a little bit different on every platform.
Okay. All right, most excellent. All right, so how do I just if I
Now
want to
you want
stop
to click the stop share. That's in the top right corner. Yeah, click on that, and then it goes away.
and then I see everybody again.
Yep.
Okay. So how did everybody get these cool backgrounds? And I'm stuck with my
Yeah.
bedroom background.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different again for the iPad. So here over where let me show on my screen. Okay. Let's share my screen again, and I'll show you here. On the PC, it's a little different, so you might have to look around for this. I'm pretty sure the option will be there because it's there on the PC, so I would think it would be there for the iPad. It might just not be there for the iPad. But here on PC, what you do is here you have the stop video button at the bottom left corner. And if
Uh-huh.
I click the little arrow next to stop video, like the drop down arrow, so here, let's see if I can get that to pop up here for me. You can see an option that says choose virtual background. So when you click that, you'll get this window. I don't know, can you see the window that I've got popped up here, or can you not
I
see the
do.
window? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, so here then we can go in and change the virtual background. So I can have that one, or I can have the beach. We can change it to the
Okay.
San Francisco Bridge. We can change it. We can add our own image or video as well.
Okay.
So we can change that up. It's pretty customizable.
Okay. Well, when I touch my screen and it comes down, it says mute, stop video, share content, participants. I don't have that little arrow next to the stop video, so I don't think I'm
Okay.
going to have that option. That's okay.
Maybe under the more, the ellipses on the right side, it says more. You might try that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hold on.
There we go.
So this actually let me use a picture that I took off my camera.
Yeah. You can use pictures or videos that you take as well. If you do a video, I would recommend that you do something that loops or something that like the beach is easy to do.
Okay.
All right. And does anyone else have any questions, or do you have any other questions for me, Paul?
No. I'm good.
Anne Marie, do you have any questions?
I did have a question. Now, when we've got, say we had more than, I don't know, 10 people and so forth, and I was the one that was holding the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
you said that only I can record?
Right, so the person who's hosting the meeting is normally the one who's able to record. There's an option to allow anybody else to record if they choose to. I haven't enabled it, but it is something that can be enabled. So, for example, if you were to meet with me for instruction on math, or if you were to meet with an instructor, you could ask your instructor to allow you to record. That way you can record specific clips. You're like, wait, I want to record this problem so that I can look at it later. Yeah, but that's something that you have to enable. It's off by default. Now, you mentioned meetings with more than 10 people. Actually, Zoom has one downside of Zoom is whenever you're meeting with more than 4 people, or more than 3 people, I should say. So when you're meeting with 4 or more people, the conferences are limited to 40 minutes. You can just start another one immediately up after that, but it will kick you out. Now, the upside to that is if you have a paid account, you can do larger conferences. So typically with like individuals, like if you just want to do one-on-one instruction, or if you want to talk with your family or something like that, that's not an issue. But if you're doing like a big meeting, like you've got a big classroom or something like that, then that becomes an issue. See here, you can see on my screen, like for example, Anne, if I click on your name and next to more, I can allow you to record here. You can see that. Did anyone else have any questions? Or, I'm sorry?
Okay, I got it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Did you have any questions for us, Zig? Okay.
Yeah, no, it was intermittent.
Oh,
It was
I see.
intermittent, and but it's all right.
Okay.
No, I'll just practice somehow.
Okay. And I'm sorry you're having issues. I would have helped a little bit more, but you can go back again and you can look at this. We're recording this, so you can look at the video later. And that way, anything you missed, you can look back at it.
Hey, Brennan, this is Cindy. I just want to thank everybody for attending the virtual workshop, and we're hoping that we're going to be able to continue doing this for you all. So if anyone, has any ideas of something that you might want us to as a virtual workshop, just let us know. Again, you can reach out to any one of us. I'm Cindy I'm the coordinator for the program. Veronica Barbosa is on here also. She's an advisor, and then our director Dion Krupa is also on the chat as well. So any one of us will be glad to help you if you have any questions. Okay, but thank you for attending. Oh, and by the way, Brennan will be sending a post-assessment, and if you all could please fill that out and send it back to us.
Yeah, it'll be just like the survey you've already filled out. All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And no problem. And I hope you all have a good evening.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.